What if I told you that before you consider surgery, before you consider implants, your body might already have a hidden repair system waiting to be activated? Scientists in Japan have been developing a breakthrough tooth regrowth drug that targets a protein called USAG1, a protein that normally blocks new tooth formation. Early animal studies show that when this protein is neutralized, dormant tooth buds can actually activate and grow. Human clinical trials have recently begun, and the world is watching closely. In laboratories across Japan, scientists are challenging something we were told was impossible, that humans cannot regrow teeth. At the center of this revolution is a tiny but powerful protein called USAG1, a molecular brake pedal that quietly stops new teeth from forming after childhood. For decades, dentistry accepted tooth loss as permanent, a problem solved only with drills, titanium, and implants. But developmental biology tells a different story. Your body once knew exactly how to build teeth from scratch. During early growth, two master signaling systems, BMP and WNT pathways, orchestrate the formation of every tooth you've ever had. These pathways don't disappear in adulthood, they become suppressed. USAG1 acts like a lock placed on dormant tooth buds, preventing further activation. Japanese researchers discovered that by neutralizing this protein with a targeted antibody, they could remove the brake and reawaken natural tooth development. In animal studies, blocking USAG1 triggered the growth of fully structured new teeth, with enamel, dentin, and root formation. Let that sink in. Not artificial replacements, but biologically formed teeth, emerging from your own genetic blueprint. The implications stretch far beyond cosmetics. Tooth loss is linked to higher risks of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and nutritional deficiencies. Restoring natural teeth could mean restoring systemic health. But here's the gripping reality. This drug doesn't create anything unnatural. It simply unlocks a pathway your body already possesses. BMP signaling regulates bone density. WNT signaling influences stem cell activation and tissue regeneration throughout the body. The same pathways that shape your jaw and skeleton are being reactivated with surgical precision. This is not science fiction. It is regenerative medicine targeting the root cause, not the symptom. And if we can unlock one dormant system, the question becomes unavoidable. What else inside you is waiting to be awakened? Before you imagine a world without dental implants, you need to hear the part no one is talking about. The breakthrough drug emerging from research in Japan was not designed for everyone. It was created for a rare but devastating condition called congenital tooth agenesis, a genetic disorder where children are born missing multiple permanent teeth. For these individuals, the problem isn't decay, it isn't hygiene, it's DNA. Mutations in genes that regulate tooth development disrupt the delicate signaling choreography of BMP and WNT pathways before a tooth ever forms. The Japanese therapy targets USAG1 to release that developmental block, essentially giving the body a second chance to complete a program that was interrupted at birth. In early animal trials, researchers observed new tooth formation only in models genetically primed with extra dormant tooth buds. That detail changes everything. If you lost a tooth from trauma, gum disease, or decades of inflammation, the biological landscape is completely different. Severe periodontal disease destroys not just the tooth, but the surrounding bone, ligament, and stem cell niche required for regeneration. Over 1 billion people worldwide suffer from advanced gum disease, a condition strongly linked to diabetes and heart disease. In these cases, there may be no dormant blueprint left to activate. The drug cannot rebuild a jawbone that has been chronically inflamed for years. It cannot reverse systemic metabolic dysfunction overnight. It is a precision therapy for a specific genetic gap, not a universal replacement for titanium implants. That doesn't diminish its power. For children born without teeth, it could mean growing their own natural smile for the first time. But for the rest of us, it sends a deeper message. Regeneration depends on biology, not hope, and the question becomes urgent. What is the true condition of your internal terrain? Here's the truth. No pharmaceutical breakthrough can bypass. Regeneration is impossible without the right biological terrain. Even the most advanced drug developed in Japan cannot build a tooth out of nutritional emptiness. Tooth formation is not magic, it is biochemistry. Enamel, the hardest substance in the human body, is over 95% mineral, primarily hydroxyapatite, a crystalline structure built from calcium and phosphorus. Without adequate calcium in the bloodstream, the body will pull it from your bones before it ever prioritizes rebuilding a tooth. Vitamin D acts like a hormonal switch, increasing calcium absorption in the gut and regulating over 2,000 genes, including those involved in bone metabolism. Yet nearly 1 billion people worldwide are deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into bones and teeth, preventing it from depositing in arteries, where it contributes to cardiovascular disease. Magnesium activates vitamin D and stabilizes crystal formation within enamel and dentin. Protein provides the amino acids needed to form collagen, the organic scaffold that mineral crystals attach to. Without collagen, minerals have no architecture to bind to. Dentin, the inner structure of the tooth, is about 20% organic matrix, mostly collagen fibers arranged with microscopic precision. If your diet lacks vitamin C, collagen synthesis weakens and structural integrity collapses. This is why malnutrition in childhood leads to enamel defects and lifelong vulnerability to decay. This is why osteoporosis and tooth loss often appear together in aging adults. Regeneration is not just about activating a gene. It's about supplying raw materials at the exact moment cells begin rebuilding. A drug can remove a molecular break, but only nutrition provides the bricks and mortar. And the uncomfortable question remains: if your body attempted regeneration today, would it have the resources to succeed? There is a silent force that can shut down regeneration before it even begins: chronic inflammation. You cannot see it in the mirror. You cannot feel it in its early stages. But it changes the biology of every tissue in your body, including your teeth and jawbone. When blood sugar remains elevated, even slightly, it triggers a cascade of inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. These molecules interfere with osteoblasts, the very cells responsible for building new bone and supporting tooth structure. Studies show that people with uncontrolled diabetes are up to 3 times more likely to suffer severe periodontal disease. And periodontal disease is not just about bleeding gums. It is the progressive destruction of bone, ligament, and the microscopic stem cell environment required for regeneration. Inflammation increases oxidative stress, producing free radicals that damage cellular DNA and impair healing. C-reactive protein, a marker of systemic inflammation, rises not only in heart disease but also in advanced gum infections. Your mouth is not separate from your body. It is an extension of your immune system. Ultra-processed foods high in refined sugars feed harmful oral bacteria that produce acid and inflammatory toxins. Smoking constricts blood vessels, reducing oxygen delivery to gum tissue and slowing cellular repair. Even chronic stress elevates cortisol, suppressing immune balance and altering tissue regeneration. If the body perceives constant threat, it shifts from repair mode into survival mode. And survival mode does not prioritize rebuilding teeth. No regenerative drug, not even the breakthrough research emerging from Japan, can override a body trapped in inflammatory overload. Because regeneration requires safety at the cellular level. It requires oxygen, nutrient flow, and immune balance. The real question is not whether science can regrow a tooth. The real question is whether your internal environment allows healing to happen at all. Beneath the gleaming white surface of every tooth lies a living framework most people never think about: collagen. Enamel may be the hardest substance in the human body, but it is the inner dentin layer that gives a tooth resilience, shock absorption, and life. And dentin is built on collagen. Nearly 20% of dentin is organic matrix, primarily type I collagen fibers arranged in microscopic precision. Without that scaffold, minerals have nothing to anchor to. Calcium alone cannot create strength. It needs structure. Collagen is that structure. Every time you bite, chew, or grind, Collagen absorbs mechanical stress and distributes force through the tooth into the jawbone. When collagen weakens, teeth become brittle, sensitive, and vulnerable to cracks. Vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis because it activates enzymes that stabilize and cross-link collagen fibers. Severe vitamin C deficiency once caused sailors to lose teeth from scurvy, not because enamel dissolved, but because the connective tissue framework collapsed. Even mild deficiencies can impair tissue repair and slow healing in the gums. Protein intake matters just as much. Amino acids like glycine, proline, and lysine form the backbone of collagen strands. Without adequate dietary protein, regeneration becomes structurally impossible. Research also shows that chronic inflammation increases enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, which break down collagen in gum tissue and dentin. That means poor diet and metabolic stress don't just block mineralization, they actively degrade your tooth's internal architecture. Even the promising regenerative therapies being developed in Japan depend on a stable collagen matrix to support new mineral deposition. A drug may activate growth signals, but collagen determines whether that growth is durable or fragile. If regeneration is the dream, collagen is the foundation, and without a strong foundation, nothing built on top will last. What if the most powerful regenerative signals in your body are not found in a laboratory, but on your plate? Long before scientists in Japan began targeting USAG1, nature had already embedded regenerative cues inside whole foods. The same double-ENT and BMP signaling pathways involved in tooth development are influenced by nutrients and plant compounds you consume every day. Dark leafy greens provide vitamin K1, which your body can partially convert to K2, a nutrient shown to activate proteins that bind calcium into bones and teeth. Fermented foods like natto are rich in K2, and populations with higher K2 intake show lower rates of bone fractures. Fatty fish such as salmon deliver vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammatory cytokines that suppress osteoblast activity. Lower inflammation means greater potential for tissue repair. Polyphenols found in green tea and berries have been shown in laboratory studies to modulate WNT signaling and protect stem cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress damages DNA and weakens regenerative capacity. Magnesium-rich foods like seeds and legumes stabilize hydroxyapatite crystals, the mineral backbone of enamel. Protein from eggs, fish, and legumes supplies the amino acids required to build collagen scaffolding inside dentin. Even nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach improve blood flow by enhancing nitric oxide production, increasing oxygen delivery to gum tissue. Oxygen is not just for survival, it is for healing. When you eat real, unprocessed food, you are not simply consuming calories. You are sending biochemical instructions. You are influencing gene expression. You are shaping the internal environment where regeneration either thrives or fails. Food will not magically grow a new tooth overnight, but it can prime your biology so that when regenerative medicine advances, your body is ready. The future of dentistry may involve groundbreaking drugs, but the foundation of regeneration begins with what you choose to eat today.